On this day in Chaplain Corps history, 16 January 1776, the pay for a chaplain in the Continental Army became $33.33 per month. Most people don't often think about the minute details of chaplain history like pay and allowances, but for chaplains during the American Revolution, what they were paid was an important matter. Most of them having left their homes and parishes to take care of the spiritual needs of the men of their community who volunteered to fight for the protection and freedom of their communities and families. So important was this that General George Washington himself appealed to Congress for a raise in pay for his chaplains. The Revolution began with clergymen appearing at Lexington and Concord and assembling without plan or design at Boston. Several came as a result of their prior commitment to militia units, such as William Emerson and David Avery, while others merely followed their congregants to battle without appointment or pay. Efforts were made to bring order out of chaos, with colonies and governors developing different ways to provide and pay for chaplains. On Wednesday, June 14, 1775, Congress resolved, among other things, that the pay of the officers and privates be as follows. And keep in mind that in $1 in 1775 was equivalent to about $32 in 2022. For a captain, $20 per month. A lieutenant, $13.33 per month. A sergeant, $8 per month. A corporal, $7.33 per month. A drummer or trumpeter, $7.33 per month. And private, $6.33 per month. And all of these had to find their own arms and clothes. On Saturday, July 29, 1775, Congress voted pay for various officers and enlisted personnel in the Continental Army that weren't previously covered in that resolution. Here is the first official recognition of chaplains by the Continental Congress, and reads simply in reference to dollars per month. Chaplain, 20. However, the number of chaplains to regiments continued to fluctuate. To rectify this chaotic condition, General Washington wrote to the Continental Congress on December 31, 1775. I have long had it in my mind to mention it to Congress that frequent applications have been made to me respecting the chaplain's pay, which is too small to encourage men of abilities. Some of them who have left their flocks are obliged to pay the parson acting for them more than they receive. I need not point out the great utility of gentlemen whose lives and conversation are unexceptionable, being employed in that service in this army. There are two ways of making it worthy the attention of such. One is an advancement of their pay. The other, that one chaplain be appointed to 2 regiments. This last, I think, can be done without inconvenience. I beg leave to recommend this matter to Congress, whose sentiments hereon I shall impatiently expect. In response to General Washington's request, the Congress on this day in Chaplain Corps history, January 16, 1776, resolved to increase the pay of chaplains to $33.33 per month, which is equivalent to about 1,064 of today's dollars. Writing to Major General Artemus Ward on July 9, 1776, Washington mentioned that Congress had made some alterations in the establishment of chaplains and advanced their pay. The general orders of that same day announced Congress's decision in the matter of pay and assignments, adding the commander's personal directive for the qualifications required in chaplains to be recruited, and his attitude toward religion in the Army. The order stated, "The Honorable Continental Congress, having been pleased to allow a chaplain to each regiment with a pay of $33 1/3 per month, the colonels or commanding officers of each regiment are directed to procure chaplains accordingly, persons of good character and exemplary lives, to see that all inferior officers and soldiers pay them a suitable respect and attend carefully upon religious exercises. The blessing and protection of heaven are at all times necessary, but especially so in times of public distress and danger. The general hopes and trusts that every officer and man will endeavor so to live and act as become a Christian soldier, defending the dearest rights and liberties of his country." Following this announcement, General Washington added the news that Congress had declared the colonies independent from Great Britain. The pay of chaplains would not significantly change again until March of 1791, when the constant threat of Indian warfare on the frontier prompted Congress to make adjustments to the Army structure, establishing what was essentially a brigade chaplain with the pay of $50 a month, though from that amount he had to procure his own rations and forage. Few chaplains, then or today, would complain about the amount of their paycheck, being more concerned with caring for the souls of their soldiers. But the reality is, just like any other soldier or officer, chaplains needed enough to not only provide for themselves on the battlefield and their families at home, but often to pay their substitute in their local parish back home. Fortunately, General Washington recognized this need and cared enough about his chaplains and the men they spiritually cared for that he successfully urged Congress to act. On this day in Chaplain Corps history, 16 January 1776. This is Darrell Densford for the Chaplain.